first time, because yes, I've been there twice. The first time brings me back all the way to 8th grade. Now keep in mind, I'm 21 years old right now, so there's been a little bit of time that's passed, but the first thing that happened was I was on my 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C., and at the time I was obsessed, like head over heels obsessed, with this one girl. Let's call her Kay. Now, in Washington, D.C. is when a lot of shit went down with Kay. Now, I liked her for about a year. History there is, I had a weather website like a nerd, and then she helped me out with it for like 4 days. But then I fell in love with her. And a couple years later, I'm in the psych ward. Because in D.C., see, I was hoping something would happen with her, so we were Snapchatting like the entire fucking time. But then, she broke my heart entirely. I remember going home on the bus, crying my eyes out. It was so embarrassing in front of my entire class. So that sucked. The night before, or I guess the night that we were riding home, I get back to my bedroom, and, I start making the threats, the kind of threats that get you sent to the psych ward, you know what I mean? Then she was very, very concerned. I'm sorry, don't do anything, And that was really sad, and honestly, her talking to me then, I think might have saved my life, because she calmed me down so much. Kudos to Kay for that. But yeah, then we all go to sleep, things calm down, and I decide to write a letter, and you know what kind of letter I'm talking about. She freaked out the next morning. I got a ton of people Snapchatting me saying, am I okay, am I okay, am I okay? My parents dropped me off at school probably 3 hours late, give or take, that day, because I had an appointment with my psychiatrist, a regularly scheduled appointment. Then I go and I'm talking to her about this and everything, and at this point I don't think my parents knew what was going on. Then I used to want to be a rapper back then, so I always kept my song lyrics with me, and I wanted to show my psychiatrist one of them. God only knows why. Then I'm going through these song lyrics, and she's like, what's that? She sees the note that I sent to Kay. What's that? And I'm like, oh, nothing. Then my parents make me give her my phone, and she reads it. This is where shit hit the fan. Because then I'm getting an order to go to the psych ward. If I don't show up, the police will arrive and be forced to take me there. So my parents just drove me. We get there, we wait for a while, then they take my phone, my computers, and all that kind of stuff. And, well, next thing they do is they search your body for any kind of cuts, bruises, or scrapes. If you were, I'm not even gonna go there, but, so they didn't really find anything on me. And then you get admitted. They give you your room, and the room is okay. At least you have your own bathroom and a very crappy shower. But, you gotta wear the scrubs. You gotta, for 3 days, and then you're allowed to wear your own clothes. But we had these groups, and I forget how many groups a day there were, probably 5 or 6. And, I'm a really shy guy. It's really hard for me to connect with people and bond to people. Or bond with people, rather. But yeah, so we're doing these groups. I think there was one like writing one. There was one where we exercise. There was one where we did school, lunch, that kind of thing. The lunch, you could actually order off a menu at the one that I went to. And that was a really nice feature, I thought. Because at least, you get the big food, and that kind of helps. I don't know what that noise is right now on my end. I think it might be an airplane. Just give it a second. Just give it a second. But yeah, for the psych ward, I was only there about 5 days, which is like an average stay, is what my psychiatrist told me. yeah, that was the first time I went to the psych ward. Actually, it felt amazing getting out. I kind of had this afterglow. I kind of had this rejuvenated feeling. It was awesome getting out. But, okay, so next time I went is crazy. Crazy, and honestly, I was out of my mind. I had this stupid idea that I was going to go to Florida. And I was going to move to Florida with my grandma. And I was going to just start a life right there and whatever. I told my parents, and they said no. And then I got pissed. So what I decided to do was freak out and try to win a battle with them. Yeah, but moving on. Something happened, and then they're like, no, I was talking to my therapist. That's what I was doing. And she was like, well, what if you're not safe? You should go to the hospital. I was like, whatever. And next thing I know, my parents are driving me to the hospital again. Keep in mind, this was, 2 or 3 years later. But, so now I'm going to the hospital. Same drill where they search your body and take your stuff and all that kind of jazz. Yeah, and then at that time, I didn't attend a single group, believe it or not. I just laid in my bed and napped. It got dark, especially that first day. I slept in a padded room with a mattress on the floor, which is, I think, was overkill, but whatever. And my parents got me a blanket, and they didn't even let me have it the entire time. They held it from me, which really sucked. I was there for about 2 days, so I got lucky there. But then I get out, and it's fine, and that was the last time I've been to the psych ward. However, I think it could use some work. I think the psych ward is really, really good for people who are in episodes of psychosis, or people who are losing their mind or attempted to off themselves. I don't know if YouTube's gonna filter that out. I don't know what's gonna happen there. But I think that's where psych wards really shine. But they should be a last resort because they don't really help patients. They just stabilize them while they're there. And quite frankly, this isn't rare that people go to the psych ward twice. And something about that tells me that the psych wards are pretty much ineffective, or at least need some serious, serious work. Because obviously they don't work. And also, the idea of taking somebody who is morbidly depressed and locking them in a small floor in the hospital, like, I'm depressed, so I'm gonna get locked inside, a room. How the hell is that supposed to help me? You know what I mean? So for that reason, I am low-key anti-psych ward. Just because of the conditions. I mean, I really feel like they could be improved. Maybe they are a necessity, but they could definitely get better, for sure. So guys, that was my experience in the psych ward. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe for